spark was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good Monday morning. Good morning, folks. July 14th, 2025. I am your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Diane. I hope you had a great weekend. Busy weekend. Granddaughter's birthday party. Well, I'll tell you about that a little later. Granddaughter's birthday party. I enjoyed that Saturday. That was important to get away. So when about 5 different people, we'll go with 5 different people that you expect to tell you the truth, and several out of the 5 are telling a different story, and you're sitting here like, wait a minute, what is the truth? Wow. Did Dan Bongino walk out and quit? Is that something they're working on? Did he just go home a couple days to relax and regroup? Did the black SUV pull up at his house and say, "Look, Dan, we need to talk"? But we'll talk about that in just a moment. So Friday we did at 10 a.m. we have the Georgia Hour, and talk about the Epstein files. Okay, we have probably in Georgia, we probably have the most Republican political corrupt scandal in the nation today. In the nation. Now, I am a lifelong Republican, but this is explosive. We did a 3-hour show. First Liberty Building and Loan, the Frost family of Georgia, $140 million Ponzi scheme tied into the Georgia Republican Party. We will ask some questions at 10 o'clock. Now, at 10 o'clock, I want to clear up something before we get to the Epstein files. We will. And before we get to selling weapons to Ukraine, and we will. I just want to clear something up, all right? And I understand the confusion. This is not an attack. I understand where the confusion comes in. But there was a report that Brant Frost the Fifth. Now, before I go any further, First Liberty Building and Loan. This has got a major FBI is going to be crawling up some butts here. And we're going to see what happens. Because this solicitation for funds and investment and campaign contributions go well across state line. Every single solicitation for this across state lines is mail fraud. There is a lot to unpack here. This is going to be very large, depending on what the FBI, Department of Justice, this is federal, The Secretary of State's office actually in Georgia, Brian Kemp. There's a lot of moving parts here. At 10 o'clock, we're going to get into this. This is very silent for a reason. And we've worked on we're going to go into another segment of this at 10 o'clock, the Georgia hour. This is enormous. You don't want to miss it. And my question at 10 o'clock one of my questions will be, the Frost family, did they use the minor siblings in a corrupt way in donating to politicians with ill-gotten gains, money that didn't belong to them? I mean, this thing is really bad. But I want to clear something up before we go into anywhere else. There was a lot of rumor that Brant Frost V, who his job is at First Liberty, the son, resigned as Coweta County, Coweta County, Georgia GOP chair this weekend. That is not accurate. That's not accurate. All right. Now, the Frost family, you have in the Georgia GOP at this time as officers, you have Brant Frost. You don't hear anything about state committee. I'm going to show you this, and we're going to do it again at 10. I just want to get today started with this. And Krista Frost, the mother, the homemaker, as she is listed multiple times. We'll show you that later. Krista, state committee, Coweta County, and Katie Frost, the 3rd district chair and state committee on the executive committee. No one has resigned from the Georgia Republican Party. And to my knowledge, no one has been asked. And here's the reason I'm going to show you this. Diane, I sent you a new picture, okay? And I sent you a new picture. I want number 66, and I sent you a new picture, 119. I want number 66. Now, the AJC's reporting this right here. You're going to see. And this is from the AJC. In another development, we're told Brant Frost V, the son of the firm's founder, resigned over the weekend as chair of Coweta County GOP. Frost hasn't returned. The party's website now lists Alan Brady as the acting chair. So he's not resigned. So I'm going to play you a video from Saturday. Listen very close to the first vice chair Alan Brady say he has stepped back, and they don't call it an investigation, an ongoing situation. So turn up video 18, turn the volume up. It's a little low. This is Saturday morning at the Coweta County Republican Party meeting. First vice chair, as he assumes the role. All right. Very close to every word. Play the video.
Brant Frost V wanted me to let you know that he has stepped back from serving as the county chair. And in his absence, I'll be acting as chairman with all the duties and powers of the office. There will be a more formal statement released later. And that's really all I can say at this point. It is an ongoing situation.
He has stepped back. Okay, give me 119. He has stepped back, right? Now that came from Alan Brady, the first vice chair. And he said Brant Frost V has stepped back and he would be the acting chair in his absence. You did not hear the word resign, because if Brant Frost V would have resigned yesterday or Saturday morning, then acting chair right there, Alan Brady, as he's still first vice chair and acting chair. All right? Acting. Get this. I want this to be very clear because I don't want these people to get away with anything. All right? And if he would have resigned, he didn't resign state committee. Last night there was an executive committee meeting. He didn't resign state committee. 2, if he would have resigned, Alan, by their charter, he should have announced an election to replace him. So Brant didn't resign. I understand it's a misunderstanding. No one's attacking anyone. The AJC, Brant did not resign. Okay? He could resume according to the rules. Now, I want you to notice something. Who is the second vice chair of Coweta County? Krista Frost. Did you hear that's Brant's mommy? Did you hear anyone say she resigned? No, I come to you this morning, unless something changes during this broadcast with Krista Frost, Katie Frost, and Brant Frost, still members of the Georgia State Republican Party State Committee, and Katie Frost still on the executive committee, and no one's resigned, and they haven't gone anywhere. And the Republican Party of Georgia has not asked. So take that down. We're going to do that again at 10 o'clock for the people that get here at 10 o'clock. But I wanted to open up with that because this is large. FBI, crossing state lines, everything and anything. So take that down. We'll get to that. Nobody's resigned, okay? Josh McCoon, the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, this is going to explode with all of them. Now, before I get to, give me video 1, right?
Could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Just saying. Now, I want to say something out of the box. And as we always have to have clarification, Trump watch, Trump hat, Trump pin, still support my president. But I have to look you in the eye and tell you what the whirlwind around Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump created it. I know. You're upset. He created it. He allowed this to happen. Now, what the total outcome will be of this, I'm not for sure. But he allowed this to happen. Donald Trump knew Dan Bongino and Kash Patel wanted the Epstein. When we talk about the file, the list, we wanted the people, the countries, the intel agencies, the lawmakers. We wanted it all exposed. We want a clean house once and for all. And the children that were abused, raped, they deserve justice. And he knew that when he appointed them. He knew that. He knew this was coming. Donald Trump knew a percentage of MAGA, you wanted this. You expected this. Donald Trump has known all along that you expected the Epstein file, including a list, right? The JFK file, right? The Martin Luther King Jr. file. Myself, I'm waiting on the Malcolm X. I want that also. We want all of this disclosed and put out there for the American people to see. We're tired of it. And he knew that. And he supports Pam Bondi. Now, did you really think, now let's go here for just a minute. Did you really think that on any day that Pam Bondi was going to give me where's the Pam Bondi? Or where's the Trump? I had it. Hold on. Did you think on any day, Pam Bondi being from Florida, give me number 43. Did you think on any day that Pam Bondi was going to put out the Epstein file? Did you? Pam Bondi, Florida? What was that? What's Alex's name down there? The former labor secretary. What's going on with my boys? In some cases, gals. They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. You see, Trump is just supposed to be able to say that to you, and you're supposed to stop asking questions. Trump is supposed to put fantastic job in capital letters, and you're supposed to just say, oh, okay, I didn't realize she was doing a fantastic job now that I know that. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it. Is that who we are? All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, and Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? Wait a minute, this thing never stops. So now what you're telling me is the Democrats altered the files. They wrote the files. But you didn't tell us that before. Why didn't Pam Bondi come out at any time and say, look, there's nothing to release here. The real investigation is why they've been altered, and we know they've been altered, and we know they got Obama's fingerprints all over them, and Hillary Clinton's fingerprints all over them, and James Comey and Brennan's. So you flipped it once again. So we're getting the files. Bongino wants the files. Epstein wants the files. Tucker Carlson wants the files. Benny Johnson wants the files, right? Laura Loomer wants the files. But at no time, just up to this post, finally, what you're telling us, what we should be focused on, who's concerned, who conned the world with Russia, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more. They created the Epstein files just like they created fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier. So the Epstein files are a created dossier. Huh. Well, I mean, now that I know this, right? I mean, an FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue. Should add WinRed in there. You should add WinRed. The rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arrest thugs and criminals instead of spending a month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great, man. Well, that's a closer to me, right? I mean, we should just accept that and walk away, move on. But what happened under that post on Truth? Now, Truth Social is President Donald Trump's platform. It's his social media platform. It belongs to him. And 99% of everything posted under Donald Trump, if Donald Trump posts something, you can go to Truth Social, you can look at one of the posts, Donald J. Trump, and I'll tell you what, the accolades and how great he is, and he is amazing, but this post didn't exactly get that fanfare. Now, I just want to put this up. I started out by asking you this. All the morning shows, every one of yesterday's morning shows, they all went after this. Give me number 28, Burning the Base, right? Burning the Base. And give me number 76. So let me say this. The timing of this to be set up to get whipped all up into a frenzy. You see, Pam Bondi drops a statement, doesn't sign it. It's over. It's done. Knowing it's going to whoop everything up into a frenzy for an entire week. But interesting, it comes up at a time when Turning Point is having their summer camp for the Charlie's kids, and everybody there is all whooped up in a frenzy. And it gives all the speakers some red meat to throw out to all of Charlie's kids at Turning Point at summer camp. I don't know, just interesting. So give me video 13.
That Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is I mean, there's
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
This isn't about Epstein or 9/11 or JFK or RFK. It is, but it isn't. It's about a bigger thing. If you're lying about that, you're lying about everything. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
And this is something Donald Trump has talked about. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
Everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
President Trump and members of his administration for years building up the Jeffrey Epstein case and promising that everything will come to light. That's not what Trump's Department of Justice is delivering, and now that has become a major issue for the president's base. We'll explain why his support.
That has become a major issue for the president's base. Now, one of the major questions is why did this issue get whooped up into a circle like a whirlwind and land with the deep state corporate corrupt media? Why did it? I said this last week, okay? Why are they running the narrative? Now, I will tell you this. Bongino says if they're lying about blank, they're lying about everything. Now, reports are that Bongino walked out of a very heated Susie Wiles, Pam Bondi meeting. This is just a rumor. Walked out of a meeting in the West Wing, very angry, and went home and has not returned back to work. Wow. Now, Donald Trump, the only thing, this angers most of my viewers. The only thing I didn't like about Donald Trump's answer there, I think I would, and then it's almost like he laid the groundwork for a response in the future if necessary. He did. He laid the groundwork for the response in the future if necessary. Now, do you remember on Fox News where she's really getting hit? Give me this video, and we'll come back. Let's see. Give me video 10. I think this is the one I want. The kids at summer camp.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares.
A lot. I said a lot. Every hand.
The Epstein files were the big topic for a crowd of conservatives at the Student Action Summit over the weekend. You saw it there. It comes as President Trump continues to dismiss the issue. The question is, can the president convince his base to move on? Meanwhile, President...
You know, just think when all the children's get home from summer camp, you know, because they got to stay in the dorm room for the first time. They went to summer camp. It's Charlie Kirk's kids' Turning Point summer camp for kids. That's what it is. It's summer camp. So they have to put a lineup. And when the kids get home and the parents are there and they've spent all this money, like travel ball, this is like travel ball, right? And they spent all this money for their kids to go to summer camp for Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. And they're like, how was it? It was great, Mom. It was great. You should have seen it. We were all cheering and blah, blah, blah. And this person got on the stage and it was wild. Just saying. But did Pam Bondi tell Fox News the file was on her desk? Did she go back and start reviewing the file and say, Mr. President, we have a problem? No, we don't. We could just shut it down. We drop it. We say it's over. We move on. Okay, if you say so. Take a break.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. The Georgia hour is at 10 o'clock, the Georgia hour, and we have probably the most explosive Republican corrupt situation with the FBI investigating. Yes, this is across state line. This includes Department of Justice, FBI, Georgia Secretary of State's office, should include GBI. We should be looking into the Georgia GOP Party, Inc., but that's at 10 o'clock. That is explosive. $140 million Ponzi scheme that has been taking place That's at 10 o'clock. Leave it there. So Sunday, yesterday, I watch all the propaganda shows. So I just want to say this. Give me 118. I reported it here. We'll talk about it around 9 o'clock, but I reported it here for weeks that North Korea was preparing. Now, keep in mind, as we get into this, North Korean dictator pledges unconditional support for Russia's war in Ukraine. North Korea has already sent 10,000 troops to Russia to fight Ukraine. North Korea has made a commitment to another 30,000 troops to Russia to fight Ukraine. I reported that for the last 2 weeks it was happening right here. And as you well know, Putin has always told Donald Trump he won. Now, America's dealing with everybody gets a trophy. I mean, the European countries and America, we no longer recognize winners and losers. It's that simple. Putin said, just because you, NATO, Europe, all of you guys, you believe everybody gets a trophy, we won. Got it? Ukraine doesn't get a trophy. We won. Here's what we want. That's the way it's always been since Trump took office. That's why the negotiations have fallen apart. We'll get into that in a minute. Take that down. So, also 117, let me show you this. 117, today is July 14th. On July 13th, yesterday marked 1 year. Corey Kopitor, is that his name? The firefighter that was killed in Butler, PA. 1 year since President Donald Trump, the attempt to assassinate then candidate President Donald Trump, July 13th in Butler, PA. That was a year ago. Now, all of the broadcasts yesterday on the Sunday, I'm just going to go through and show you some of the chyrons underneath some of the pictures they put up. 116. This is Kash Patel, the Benny Show. Now, what Trump is struggling here with when it comes to Epstein is everyone that normally is paid to carry his water, they get payments from advertisers that are set up to carry the Trump water, however it may work. The Benny Show, Benny, is that his name? Benny John, he definitely 100% carrying Trump's water. This is what I would say is alarming. All right. Here's Fox News. Number 115. DOJ says there is no incriminating client list among Epstein files. Talking about the little black book. Now, this is an interesting one. We've talked about this. Why is this separation out there going into 2026? Bannon has said, 114, Bannon said Saturday, for this to go away, you're going to lose 10% of the MAGA movement. If we lose 10% of the MAGA movement right now, will we lose 10 or will you lose more? Now, if you tell me this just goes away, I played the clip a minute ago. I'll play it again. What are they lying about? I mean, we are at a crucial crossroads in America in this time that we're living in on where is the truth. We're going into an AI-generated world where AI will eventually project what they tell us is the truth. We are right now at a crucial point, forget Epstein for a minute, that determining the truth on these issues going forward from the people, we the people, is an established, we have to do it now. It has to happen right now. Now, I think it could be higher than 10%. If they just continue to say, if Kash Patel, which we'll see that in a minute, and I'm going to use it this way, and Dan Bongino are beaten in the submission, just putting it that way, just my way of saying it. If they are beaten in the submission, did we know all along that Pam Bondi, right? Did we know all along that Pam Bondi was never going to prosecute anything? She's not going to. Pam Bondi has a desk drawer, and this is the way I see it and envision it. And she has the pull it out, throw it out when needed, right? And I'll show you one of the examples. Yesterday started blowing up all over the internet, or Saturday, while they were at summer camp. The kids were at summer camp for Turning Point Charlie Kirk. The internet started blowing up that Matt Gaetz canceled his appearance at Turning Point and was called to D.C. by President Trump for a private meeting. What? Yes, that went everywhere. We don't know. We don't know the truth on that one. But Matt Gaetz has been called away from Turning Point. Was Matt Gaetz on the list of speakers at Turning Point? Did Charlie Kirk have Matt Gaetz on that list of speakers out there? Matt Gaetz has canceled his appearance at Turning Point because Donald Trump has summoned him to D.C. and he's on a flight now. Whew. All right. I'm just telling you, it's a TV show, damn it. It's a TV show. Summer camp. They were out there at summer camp this weekend. We will show you summer camp in a minute. And all of those people get paid. There's a fee. Every one of them have a fee that they charge. It can be negotiated with the Charlie Kirk team, Turning Point team. They all have a fee, a speaker's fee to show up at these things. And that's why your mom and dad have to pony up, or you get those sponsors because it's great for the children's, right? Give me 114. You have that. Okay, could lose 10% of the movement right now. He is claiming. And he goes on to say, 113, we are going to lose 40 seats. In 2026, we're going to lose the presidency. So I study this every day. I show it to you every single day on this program. The midterms, Bannon is saying that if we just throw this out and say it's over, it's done. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, you're going to forget it. How many of you like the graphic that's going around? I really enjoy it. The one Men in Black that's going around all the social media where Pam Bondi is holding up the memory erase stick. You know, you look at it, Men in Black. Let's forget anything happened. We're going to move on. I enjoyed that one. So, midterms. Which reminds me, Elon Musk. I picked something up this weekend, 110. Here it is, ABC, the backlash, right? Mega backlash, 109, the incriminating client list. No credible evidence. Donald Trump, 108. Donald J. Trump. Radical left lunatics. Release the Epstein files. Why didn't they release them? Why didn't they release them? Why do I have to release them? Who's hiding what? Did Donald Trump lay the groundwork to start explaining away someone that could be on the list? Weapons are coming. We're going to talk about that. Give me number 106. Weapons are coming. NATO secretary's on his way. Give me 98, CNN. Trump rallies for Bondi amid Republican backlash over memo. Now, Bondi is from Florida. We'll get to that in a moment. Here he is at the soccer. Is that a match? Is it a game? Is it football? What do they call this? 97. I'm not a soccer guy. Don't attack me, all right? There's Trump. There's Pam Bondi. Pam. Just keep going, Pam. Wow. 96. What's going on with my boys? And in some cases, my gals, Trump's rallies. Here's Bongino, right? Number 95, Dan. Bongino considers resigning. Now, we're going to play all the videos from the weekend. Here's a 94 CNN. Bongino considers resigning after memo fallout. 93, Trump says he's in good shape. Trump says, Dan's okay. Don't worry. Where is Trump says he's in good shape. Don't worry about it. Kash Patel, 92. There he is, 91. The conspiracy theories just aren't true. Never have been. What? It's an honor to serve the President of the United States, and I'll continue to do so as long as he calls on me. July 12th. The conspiracy theories just aren't true. Well, Cash, we were getting them from you. So what you said in past tense, just move on. So Pam, Cash, just move on. I got it. I got it, right? Here we go, number 90. Don't forget, Charlie Kirk is a businessman, a business young man. Don't forget that. He has created Turning Point. Turning Point USA, number 90. And he's a businessman, Turning Point USA. And that was summer camp this weekend. Summer camp. Number 89, can Trump convince his base to move on? Now, I asked you this. Why did this land with the deep state corporate corrupt media? 88. MSNBC, 87. MAGA turmoil grows over handling of the Epstein files. Number 85, seriously, he said Epstein a half dozen times while telling everyone to stop talking about Epstein. Just released the files as promised. Elon Musk. Here are all the children at summer camp. Number 84, Epstein outcry prompts warning to Trump from MAGA leaders. Now, why this weekend Charlie Kirk and the children's? Why? Why are they trying to steer the children's away from Trump and MAGA? Is that what's happening? Why? Why is Charlie Kirk, who claims to be a Trump supporter, why are they demagifying? Why are they trying to use this issue at summer camp for the children? Now, wait a minute. You don't think it's true? Give me this one here. I wasn't going to play this one till after. Give me this one here, video 11.
To all of you. How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve. So I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation? It looks like it's going to be, and now this is like the who's going to be off the island first, right? This is who's going to be voted off the island first. And I don't know what to believe on that.
Apparently, there were 7,000 children at summer camp. 7,000 children at Charlie Kirk's summer camp. Number 89. Let's see what else I have here. The New York Times fallout. 83, fallout over handling of Epstein case erupts in open. Man, right there in the open. And 76. Now we're going to play some video when we come back at Turning Point this weekend at the what do we call it? Summer camp for Charlie's kids. All right. How was camp? It was great, Mom. It was the best $10,000 you ever spent. I don't know what it cost. Take a break. We'll be right back.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Voiceofruralamerica.com. Good morning, Diane. I hope you had a good weekend. You know, so Saturday's my granddaughter's birthday party. And I currently... Let me count on a wall. 1, 2, 3. I currently have 5 grandchildren, soon to have 6. 5 grandchildren, soon to have 6. And one of my granddaughters turned 5 years old. I can't. So one of my granddaughters turned 5 years old, and she wanted her birthday party. And it was beautiful because my granddaughter has a best friend, and her best friend was there. It was the cutest thing. So anyhow, now my granddaughter that turned 5, she has an older sister who is 7, my other granddaughter. And they had the party. I didn't even know it still existed, I have to tell you. They had the party at Chuck E. Cheese. And I found out yesterday that, you know, this in some areas, this is still a thriving place where kids like to have their birthday party. They just do. And I thought it was great. It was for the kids. It was not for me, right? So I'm the grandfather. I put a whole pack of gumballs in my pocket, and the grandkids keep coming up wanting to know if I have a gumball in my pocket, right? Like I'm a gumball machine. So anyhow, I'll get to the point. So my granddaughter that's 5, it's her birthday. They're riding to Chuck E. Cheese, and she looks at her older sister and says, I can't wait to go see the mouse. Chuck E. Cheese. And her older sister looked over at her and said, it's a rat. And that is like when you're 5 and you find out it's a rat. It's like, what age? So her older sister, she's going to her birthday. She can't wait to see the mouse. And she says, I can't wait to see the mouse. I'm going to see the mouse. And the older sister said, it's a rat. You will learn one day. So just the point is, it's a rat. There you go. So yesterday on all the networks, now I want to remind you of something, okay? And you cannot talk about Epstein without Trump. You can't talk about Epstein with, foreign governments. We'll talk about that with Tucker. If you say Israel, Laura Loomer gets very, very angry. And I know that. Not attacking Laura, but you cannot say Israel without Ben Shapiro and Laura, especially Laura Loomer. They get very, very angry, right? You can't say we've been influenced in this country by a foreign government. They get very angry. So you can't talk about this. You can't pick just little parts and say, I'm going to cover this up. But don't forget number 9, all right? Now, Pam Bondi is from Florida, all right? She's from Florida. I do not care for Pam Bondi. I was not excited for Pam Bondi to be picked. I didn't think when Matt Gaetz, and I want to read this. Thank you very much out there. I appreciate you because I do look at everything. All right. Matt has denied being summoned to D.C. Trump isn't replacing Pam right now, but Matt could be called as a special prosecutor. So Matt Gaetz says, President Trump did not call him to D.C., but that went around social media that Matt Gaetz was called to D.C. this weekend to meet with Trump. It didn't happen. I would just say, put it like this, that Matt Gaetz maybe was not invited to the summer camp for Turning Point. I don't know. But Pam Bondi's from Florida. You never thought. Did you really think Matt Gaetz would get confirmed? Remember, he walked down the hall. He went to meetings. They gave the impression like he was in it to win it. He's going to stay. And then he pulled himself out. Did you ever think Matt Gaetz was ever going to be approved? And the day, you and I both know, the day President Trump announced Pam Bondi, you were like, he's going to announce the replacements for DOJ. Pam Bondi. Ooh, okay, we'll see what happens. And then I said on the show multiple times when we got Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, we said 2 out of 3, right? We said 2 out of 3, maybe. Don't forget this, okay? The deep state. My concern is there's presidents. Biden is the first administration that was totally and completely run by committee, okay? Totally and completely run by deep state committee. But the deep state, since JFK pushed back on the CIA and found out what happens when you push back on the CIA, from that point on, whether it comes to legislation, the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Civil Rights Bill, Johnson, as you go on, the CIA allowed Reagan, they allowed presidents to exercise some independence, stand strong, lead you, the American people, to think they're in charge. But there's always been a but, right? My concern today in Washington, D.C. is Trump may have 80%. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't have insider information, but something's bad wrong there right now. Bad wrong. He promised us no more weapons to Ukraine. He's going to sell them to NATO. We'll get to that in just a minute. But I told you this last week. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Pam Bondi knows all this. In 2005, Acosta was appointed as a U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, right? In 2008, as a U.S. Attorney, Acosta approved a federal non-prosecutorial agreement with Jeffrey Epstein. That secret agreement conducted without consulting the victims. The victims were never consulted in this agreement. A deal was made, victims never consulted, was later ruled illegal by a federal judge for violating the Crime Victim Rights Acts. A victim has rights. Later, it was considered, in 2008, later it was considered illegal. Now, you got to go back here. You can't talk about Jeffrey Epstein without going back here and saying, wait a minute. Now, in March 2005, the Palm Beach Police Department began a 13-month undercover investigation, including a search of all of his home based on reports that were involved sex trafficking of minors. Acosta, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District, agreed to a plea deal to grant immunity from all federal criminal charges of Epstein, along with 4 named co-conspirators and unnamed potential co-conspirators that agreed. Can't make this up. You got to go through, you got to go back to Florida. And then what happened? Number 10, Alexander Acosta ended up in the Trump administration. He became the Secretary of Labor in 2017 from Donald Trump. You got to look at every bit of this if you're going to say anything about it. So, yes, video 1. We're going to go through these one at a time concerning the media, the deep state, corporate, corrupt media, and what they're running, the narrative they're running today. Video 1.
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Yesterday, video 3, ABC, the MAGA backlash, yesterday morning.
Allegations of conspiracy and cover-up. Some of President Trump's most outspoken supporters are now turning on his attorney general. A MAGA backlash over the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. This week starts right now.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
The Justice Department's Epstein memo this week sparks a MAGA eruption. Could a top administration official now be on the way out? What about the Attorney General?
Who would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bonnie?
Pierre Thomas has the latest from the Justice Department. Chris Christie and Sarah.
So, Charlie Kirk at summer camp with the children. Who would you prefer, Dan Bongino or Pam Bondi? Video 4, ABC, the Epstein files. Video 4.
Including his now FBI director, Kash Patel, pushed for the release of the government files on the Epstein case, suggesting they would implicate prominent Americans in a sinister plot.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
The questions surrounding this alleged suicide are numerous and are worth entertaining and worth getting to the bottom of quickly.
That was Dan Bongino, the former MAGA social media star, who is now the deputy director of the FBI. He hasn't been seen at FBI headquarters in days, and some of his allies say he may resign after he had a heated argument at the White House with the Attorney General and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles over how the administration has handled the case. Sources familiar with the matter tell ABC News.
Give me 91. Kash Patel said, you have to put your big boy pants on. And then the conspiracy theories just aren't true. They never have been. I'm so confused. Look, this is sorting out. It will sort out. You will see. Give me video 5, the DOJ, Pam Bondi. He stormed out of the meeting, video 5.
There's always a natural tension between the Justice Department prosecutors and the FBI investigators. Let's get that out in the open. But this confrontation was unusual in its intensity, I'm told, in terms of Bondi allegedly accusing Bongino of leaking negative information about her. He denied it. And again, it was very intense, is the reporting that we have.
And he stormed out of the meeting.
That's some of the reporting we have, absolutely. And here's why it matters. These are two of the principal people who oversee the nation's national security in terms of terrorism, counter-espionage. So the relationship and how they get along does actually matter.
It doesn't really work if the deputy FBI director who runs the FBI day-to-day is not basically on speaking terms with the attorney general. Let me ask you.
94, give me 94. So apparently Bongino considered resigning. They got in an argument. And he stormed out. One more. Now, Sarah Igger on ABC, she makes a point because, and I like the way she boxes this, that Trump has this hard candy coating around him. He has this move on, and everybody says move on. And this is maybe the first time this is being tested, or there's a crack in that shell. Listen to the way she puts this, video 6.
That is unbelievable.
Okay, so Sarah, he said it's unbelievable and people shouldn't be talking about this. That was Tuesday. Yet all week, his people have been talking about it. People like Steve Bannon, Megyn Kelly, Charlie Kirk. These are prominent figures in his movement who have been talking relentlessly about this.
We've heard plenty of times with folks trying to determine whether this is where the MAGA base abandons Trump and things like that. And I think those have all been pretty big misunderstandings of how that hard candy coating around Donald Trump works. For instance, we saw that conversation happen around the pro-life movement, that Donald Trump was abandoning pro-life principles and that maybe this would break up the MAGA movement. But that hard candy coating, the people who really go out there day to day to defend whatever Donald Trump says, they're not policy people. They're not pro-life. They actually aren't even that big on immigration. They're really big on this stuff, though. JFK, Epstein, the moon landing, chemtrails. So this actually does have a real potential to influence whether Donald Trump has that protection between him and his base, those translators. And that's what you're seeing this week, is those translators are taking a really long time to come back to Donald Trump, longer than I think we've seen to date.
I mean, I'll tell you this, if you...
The translators, as she calls them, the translators are taking a long time coming back. So Benny Johnson and all the translators, right? That's what they are. Well put. They're struggling to get back in the line. By the way, if you talk about Epstein, you don't talk about World War III. If you talk about Epstein, you don't talk about selling weapons to Ukraine or to NATO that's shipping to Ukraine. You just don't talk about it. You don't talk about the warmonger, Lindsey Graham. Well, we'll talk about a little bit of that momentarily. So I don't know how much of this one I want to play, Diane, but I do want video 16 of Tucker.
Not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying that. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. I've spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the murder of a sitting U.S. president. It's got a whole trail of crimes. That doesn't make me a disloyal American. It doesn't make me anti-American in any sense. I was born here. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I love this country. That's why I live here. So criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person. It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave. You're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interest. That's not creepy. It shouldn't be forbidden. And yet all of us have trained ourselves to believe that you can't say that somehow, that that's like too naughty and forbidden. And the effect of making that off limits has been to create a lot of resentment, and I'll say it, hate online, where people feel like they can't just say, like, what the hell is this? You have the former Israeli prime minister living in your house. You have had all this contact with the foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of a foreign government? By the way, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it, the more subterranean and creepy and hateful the conversation actually becomes. So I think it's better just to say it right out loud. Did this happen? And of course, that question has been asked to the government of Israel, and their answer is, we're not going to tell you. And I think...
I mean, you can't gloss over. Where did he get the billions of dollars? Where did he get it? Where did he get this house? Who is compromised? What did they do? Who are they blackmailing? Or who could they blackmail? I mean, there's nothing wrong. This could explode everything and put us back into the order that we need to be in, put us in the order we need to be in as a country. I mean, give me number 45. This really got me yesterday when Trump released that statement. I was like, okay, so now you're going to tell us that he's not lying. And if these people really wanted to, they would see this. Democrats destroyed the evidence and left behind their own list of names, business associates of Epstein. This is, now you're going to tell me this? Give me 46. This is what you're going to tell me now? The Democrats had control of the list for 4 years. Do you really seriously believe they didn't tamper with it? And Cheryl Atkinson, number 47. I may have just figured it out. It makes more sense than anything else. What if corrupt anti-Trump intel officials left behind a lot of fabricated Epstein docs, including fake lists, to ensure the full tranche would never be released and prosecutions would be hampered? What if? Pretty friggin'. Now, I will say this. There's a reason this is set up, and it lands at the deep state corporate corrupt media. Don't forget that. Give me video 9. Whoa, no. I don't want that one. I'm sorry. I don't want video 9. Video 10.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares.
A lot. I said a lot. Every hand.
The Epstein files were the big topic for a crowd of conservatives at the Student Action Summit over the weekend. You saw it there. Comes as President Trump continues to dismiss the issue. The question is, can the president convince his base to move on? Meanwhile, President
Charlie Kirk's 7,000 indoctrination camp for children. Those young brains of mush for Charlie, right? And their parents. How was the camp? It was great, Mom. It was great. Camp was great. Oh, that's the best 10 grand we ever spent. I don't know what they spent, but 7,000, and they bought the shirts, and they brought the drink tickets, but a ching-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's right. Charlie Kirk Turning Point Action is a cha-ching mechanism. It's a cash cow. So, Turning Point, Epstein, Bannon. Let's roll with the Bannon. Video 12.
I would strongly recommend in that, because I've argued for this from the beginning, that in that arc of looking at how the deep state has tried to stop Trump and the MAGA movement, you can easily fit in the Epstein situation, right? If you want the full release of documents, the special prosecutor gets it, and here's why. Epstein is a key that picks the lock on so many things. Not just individuals, but also institutions, intelligence institutions, foreign governments, and who is working with him on our intelligence apparatus and in our government. This is why it's a time for choosing now.
Okay, so when Laura Ingraham says there's a lot bubbling under the surface here, we're talking about the controversy that began more than a week ago here. When the
Bannon, Elon Musk says last week, Bannon is on the list. Wow. All right, so we played the opening. Let's go with There Is No List, video 14. I might want to stop this and start again on this one. I think this is quite lengthy, video 14.
Here, but let's start with the idea. This is the myth of Epstein is one that has been created largely on the MAGA right. Not to say that there aren't some on the left who have had interest in it as well, but we have, as you guys just played at the top of the hour, for years, not less Trump himself, but certainly people around Trump have been talking about this list and that it was going to implicate powerful people, powerful institutions, largely on the left, the Clintons, perhaps the Obamas, others, and they would all go down for it. And now we have seen, since President Trump took office again, a backing away from that. You meant there was a statement a month back or so from the FBI, you mentioned it, and now from the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, this past week, saying, well, there's no list. Even though we have heard from her earlier this term, there was a list. We've heard from Kash Patel. We've heard from Don Bongino. There was a list. They'd be access to it. They'd release it. There was that much ballyhooed stunt earlier this year where they gave a bunch of MAGA influencers some Epstein documents, and that turned out to be sort of a bust, all just publicly available material. And that kicked up some backlash on the right. And now a real fury here in the last few days. And this is what's interesting about this. Do we know what the actual Epstein list is? Or even if there is a list? No, we do not. But what we do know is this is a rare moment, a very rare moment, where there is a real fracture in the president's base. And some of his most ardent supporters, we just played some of them at the Turning Point conference, but there are other social media influencers like Benny Johnson and the like who took to Twitter X over the weekend, really trashing President Trump, which we never see before, accusing him of hiding things, accusing him of not being honest about this list. And Trump's efforts to try to quell this storm, his Truth Social post, nearly 1,000 words over the weekend, did exactly the opposite. I mean, Truth Social, let's remember, this is a Donald Trump created and owned platform. This is the first time I've ever seen him be ratioed, meaning he got more comments, in this case almost overwhelmingly negative comments, than he got likes and approval, stamps of approval for that post. There's real anger here. And his, as you noted, Joe, his post had so many, suggesting that there was no list, but yet it was written by the Democrats. He was talking out of both sides of his mouth. And I'm told, back to you guys here, there's some real panic in the White House right now. A lot of people have gone quiet. A lot of people have gone dark. But they recognize, those that are talking, recognize right now, this is a problem. It's a first time they've had a problem like this. And they don't think it's going to go away anytime soon.
Wonder when an Edward Snowden will happen. Huh? Wonder when an Edward Snowden, a good old WikiLeaks, will take place. Wonder when that'll happen. Huh. Julian Assange. Kind of things remind me. Seth Rich. So, he says there's a real dust up down there at the White House. This is the last deep state corporate corrupt media video on this I want to play. Video 15. I find this interesting.
And you're saying that your reporting, NBC's reporting, is that actually the administration now is correct, that there is no client list, there is no smoking gun out there. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, that's right, Joe. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to believe, and obviously there have been huge questions about this case from the beginning. And you mentioned it. The origins of this in Florida suggested that initially Epstein used his power and influence to get away with it, essentially. But after there was a lot of good journalism by the Miami Herald and others, the federal government came in and did a comprehensive investigation. And look, I mean, obviously there's issues with the evidence here. So I'm not saying that there aren't photos of other people potentially exploiting children. That may exist, but everybody who was prosecutable in this case was prosecuted. That's our understanding. And there may be unfounded allegations in those files where somebody called the FBI and said a celebrity, engaged in sexual misconduct. They can't release that without evidence. That would ruin that person's life. So the idea that you could just unleash this raw file information on a child exploitation case to the public just never was realistic. But to your point, that's not what Pam Bondi initially told the public. That's not what Dan Bongino said. That's not what Kash Patel said. And now they're reaping the whirlwind.
Give me 91. It seems to be he and Kash Patel agree. Kash Patel said the conspiracy theories just aren't true. Never has been. I work for the president. He told me to move on. It's an honor to serve the president of the United States and real Donald Trump, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. Just saying, right? Cash is agreeing with the deep state corporate corrupt media. Just saying. So if all else fails, give me number 60. You go to the top desk drawer if you're Pam Bondi and you pull out something to try to, get past this. Justice Department fires more prosecutors, support staff involved in Trump prosecutions. Well, that ought to get everybody fired up. Well, that should do it. Let's just gloss over let's just gloss over the whole. Give me video. Now I want video 9.
Blumenthal, you sit on the Judiciary Committee, I believe. CBS has reported yesterday that the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, fired 20 DOJ employees who worked on the classified documents cases and the January 6th investigations. There are more firings expected. These are career officers and lawyers who don't pick their assignments. They're handed out to them. Is there anything that Congress can do to protect some of these civil servants?
Margaret, that's a really important question because Pam Bondi has so politicized and weaponized the Department of Justice, and now firing these career professionals who have devoted their lives to the Department of Justice. It's only one facet of the continuing politicization. And yes, Congress ought to be investigating this.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring Blumenthal on. We're going to tell him she is politicizing, and she is. We're going to go after Pam Bondi, make it look like we're really upset over this. The Justice Department has fired additional lawyers and support staff who worked on special counsel Jack Smith's prosecutions of President Trump. So here's my impression of Pam Bondi at DOJ when she gets there, her first day. Here's what I want. I want you to do a search, and every single prosecutor, everyone, even down to the interns that worked on these following items, I want that list and their file brought to me immediately. So here's the list and the file. Someone says, okay, what are you going to do with that? I will use it at the appropriate times. So every time she wants to run shade and gaslight us, she pulls out 5 files and says, fire these people and let the media know. Oh, by the way, when we come back, Trump selling weapons to NATO. Because everybody gets a trophy. Take a break.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCar Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Now, the diversion to try to get you just to forget, shut up and move on. Trump's put out a statement, the President of the United States. But let's go with the number 40. We know that these committees are all created for theater. And I find it an interesting time. Fox plays a role on it. Biden blast, liar. Trump's auto pen conspiracy is utter BS. So the New York Times this morning, number 39, if you want New York Times, Monday, July 14th, top story. Biden says he made the clemency decisions that were recorded with AutoPen. Now, many of you out there in America, every single day that goes by that we just gloss over COVID-19, we gloss over the spending, the corruption, the control, what took place. Every single day, that test run, if you notice, that was a test run on so many things on the American people, from will you take a shot? Will you sit in your home? Will you stay in place? Will you walk this way? Will you talk this way? Will you accept what we tell you? Will you tell your children to do what they're told from the government? The list goes on. Nothing. Zero. So every single day that we discuss Epstein, if they could get you to believe that and move on, I just want to say this. If they could take something that large and say, shut up, move on, what will be next? So Biden says he made the clemency decisions that were recorded with AutoPen. I decided what to do. And his doctor video 2, just in time to go with some controversy, video 2.
This week. Were you ever told to lie about the president's health?
The advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer.
Did you ever believe the president was unfit to execute his duties as president?
On the advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer.
Tom, it's part of our legal system. You can.
Number 28, burning the base, right? Burning the base. And then number 38, go from that one after. Yes, burning the base. Trump suffers ground zero implosion over Epstein cover-up as most ardent loyalists warn you'll never hear the end of this. And then you've got number 38. Joe Rogan goes on vacation. Joe Rogan escapes America on a $600,000 a week mega yacht. As his split with President Trump hits a fever pitch. Just in time for the Charlie Kirk summer camp, the Cha-Ching summer camp for children's, the indoctrination center. Let me see something here, Diane. Now, if every kid out there, he said there was 7,000. I want to make sure I have this correct. I don't want to get this wrong. I mean, you know, I have to stop right here and do this. Where the hell's it at? There it is, a quackulator. Do you not understand what a quackulator is? Tommy Pickles, the Rugrats, the quackulator. I'm not getting into that. Okay. So let's say there was 7,000 kids. Let's say they only spent $3,000 a kid. I don't know. Let's say. That's not right. 7,000 times 3,000. What number do you have? Because this seems awful enormous. Please, could you send me that? Let's just say every kid spent $3,000. Let's just say every kid spent $1,500. Tell me what you think that the cha-ching just in, the cost to sign up. I don't know. Maybe it was only 5. Maybe they had sponsorships. I don't know. All right. So moving right along. Remember back when you were not going to sell Ukraine any more weapons, number 37. And Donald Trump, we are in the Trump administration into day 176, right? Day 176. Just saying. Trump makes huge Ukraine move that will reshape the war against Russia forever as he blasts two-faced Putin. And then I'm just saying, remember that, and then give me number 41. Trump to announce aggressive Ukraine weapon deal. Give me number 44. Don't forget, Sergei Lavrov. Sergei Lavrov was over in North Korea preparing. North Korea leader affirms unconditional support of Russia in situation with Ukraine. Now you can laugh at North Korea all you want, but they have nuclear. We're not bombing their nuclear plants. Okay. They have them. It's a done deal. So they have the nukes. They sent 10,000. We know that already to Russia, right? They're going to send another 30,000. We told you that. Folks, our children, our world is everybody gets a trophy. I'm not joking about that. Let me move on. I will get into that momentarily. So give me number. Let's go with not quite there yet. Oh, Eric Holder. You're going to hear an Eric Holder story. Well, Diane, we've done this story for years. So give me number. I'm not going to talk about immigration right now. We don't have time. Number 81, Trump announces aggressive Ukraine weapons plan. Right. Number 82, President Trump will announce a new plan to arm Ukraine on Monday that is expected to include offensive weapons, two sources. Now, from day one, Putin has told, I told you this, we have the tape. Putin's told Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump is tired of the double talk. He says he's tired of the double talk that Putin, you know, he will make two different statements. You know, he's full of BS. We talked about that. Give me number 100. Here is the Lindsey Grahamnesty, the warmonger, the gay senator from South Carolina that is a warmonger, does not have any children at risk or a family, is getting his way. The NATO secretary, number 101, NATO Secretary General, what is his name? Ruddy? Is it Ruddy? What is his name? Anyhow, he's to meet with Trump. Now, the interesting thing is he's meeting with Lindsey Graham first. They're putting a sanction package together, 102. Trump's very disappointed with Putin. He says Putin talks nice, and then, but here's what is, in my opinion, because I read the Russian papers, okay? In my opinion, Russia has gone to every meeting with our delegation, but they've always said the root cause of the problem, Zelensky, they've always said that, right? You've got to get rid of the root cause. You got to have elections. He's got to go. The corrupt parliament's got to go. It has to be a Russian-friendly government. They have been very clear, and you have to recognize the new territories and draw new lines on the map. Period. We won. Now we're going in there with our Europeans. We have, and this is no joke, we have our European allies, Americans, which we've had to define men and women. Yes, pronouns, men and women. Transgender affirming care. That's what we've been busy with, transforming care, right? Affirming gender care. We've been identifying genders. We've been determining men and women. We've been determining whether a man could say he's a woman, dive in a pool with girls. We've been busy. This is Europe, United States. We have over in Europe, we have parents that are prosecuted, yes, for not supporting their children. It's happening here in California and other states. While Putin, imagine the negotiations. So we take a bunch of everybody got a trophy, and Putin said, Ukraine's not getting a damn trophy. Well, they got to get something. They got to get a trophy. You get a trophy. We're going to put you both on the stage and together. You say you won. They can say they won and whatever. No. And Russia is continuing forward. Russia is making a deal with North Korea. And they're going to go with these sanctions, which at this point, Russia sells an enormous amount of oil to India, at a very cheap rate, and they resell it around the world. So, Video 7, Gramnesty yesterday on Face the Nation, Video 7.
What do you know about what is coming?
Well, I don't want to get ahead of the president, but I'm having dinner along with Senator Blumenthal and other senators with Secretary General Mark Rutte tomorrow night. A turning point regarding Russia invasion of Ukraine is coming. For months, President Trump has tried to entice Putin to the peace table. He's put tariffs against countries that allow fentanyl to come in our country, other bad behavior. He's left the door open regarding Russia. That door is about to close. Dick and I have got 85 co-sponsors of the United States Senate for congressional sanctions with a sledgehammer available to President Trump to go after Putin's economy and all those countries who prop up the Putin war machine. China, India, and Brazil buy oil and petroleum products and other goods from Russia. That's the money Putin uses is to prosecute the war. Mm-hmm. And this congressional package that we're looking at would give President Trump the ability to impose 500% tariff on any country that helps Russia and props up Putin's war machine. He can dial it up or down. He can go to 0 to 500. He has maximum flexibility. But we're going after the people who keep Putin in business, and additional sanctions on Russia itself. This is truly a sledgehammer available to President Trump to end this war.
103. Right? Trump teases possible sanctions on Russia, number 104. Now, we brought this to you weeks ago. Sanctions weeks ago. This guy was trying to get weeks ago. This was all set up. 106, right? And Trump's about to send them weapons, and 118. Now, don't forget that North Korea, I want to hold 118. Now, give me video, the warmonger, video 8. Stay tuned. So I don't know what's happening, if it's happened while the show is in progress, but stay tuned, video 8.
Can you get them what they need if Congress will not approve in the House any new funding? Is it what Senator Blumenthal just laid out?
Well, just stay tuned for tomorrow's announcement. The idea of America selling weapons to help Ukraine is very much in play. We've given Ukraine a lot. We've given them money. We've given them military aid. We now have a minerals agreement with Ukraine that's worth trillions of dollars. So I don't want to get ahead of the president, but stay tuned about seized assets. The Europeans want to limit the interest on the assets to go to Ukraine. Secretary Bessent wants to go further. Stay tuned about a plan to go after the seized assets more aggressively. Stay tuned for a plan where America will begin to sell to our European allies tremendous amount of weapons that can benefit Ukraine. Putin has calculated that we would get tired and Europe would get weary. He made a huge mistake. NATO is bigger and stronger, and we're more committed to ever to make sure he does not take Ukraine by force. So Congress is on the verge of passing the most consequential sanction package in the history of the country. It will give President Trump tools he doesn't have today, a literal sledgehammer. And the big offender here is China, India, and Brazil. India buys oil from Russia cheap and resells it. That's despicable. I've talked to President Trump. He said last week it's time to move. He's tried to entice Putin to the table, but my goal is to end this war, and the only way you're going to end this war is to get people who prop up Putin, make them choose between the American economy and helping Putin, and you can only have one negotiator, and that's going to be President Trump with maximum flexibility to end this war. China, India, and Brazil, you're about to get hurt big time if you keep helping Putin.
But Senator,
flat out calling for World War III, just calling for it. We're getting ready to. We're going to send them weapons. You've never seen nothing like what we're getting ready to send them. And we've got a workaround. We send them to NATO, and then NATO puts them in there. We got it. So let's see. NATO is at war with Russia. Yes, folks, not Ukraine. We are talking about an enormous amount of weapons we're going to push through NATO into Ukraine. NATO into Ukraine, backed by the United States. Vladimir Putin has said for a long time he's at war with NATO as much as he is with Ukraine. We'll see how that's going to work out. Look, I want to just put this out here. This was glossed over, and we got to get ready for the George Hour. Give me number 12, because you always go into. You answer the question: is NASA important? Is a space program important to our national security? What say you? Trump taps Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy as interim NASA chief. All right. So Elon Musk was given the option from Trump, believe it or not, for him to pick someone that could really run NASA, knew how to do it, and can get us to Mars. I don't know if we want to go to Mars. I don't know. But then Trump has the guy submits his name. He goes through, I'm going to show you in a minute, a congressional approval process where he's approved, and he's brought out of committee ready to go to NASA, and Trump pulls it out from under Elon, and he's got Sean Duffy. Now, Sean Duffy is your transportation secretary. Nice guy. I like Sean Duffy. I think he's a quick study, all right? You ever hear, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I think he's a quick study, right? And all of a sudden, it seems like planes are taking off and landing on time at Newark International Airport. But when he names him this as interim, give me number 15. Could you find me something else? Okay. He has a bachelor's degree in marketing. And he has William Mitchell College of Law. He has a law degree. He has a law degree and a marketing degree. Okay? All right. I can see this guy is the guy who should be running NASA. Now, here's the guy, Jarrett Isaacman, number 16, right? This is the guy that was put forward. He was already confirmed. Well, he contributed to some Democrats, okay? Number 17, New Jersey, Union Township. I know where that's at, blah, blah, blah. He attended, he launched, while a student at Ridge High School, he launched a computer services business with a friend. At age 16, he left school to work full-time, later earning a GED. He received a bachelor's degree with a major in professional aeronautics from the fully on. Now, there's people in the computer background that have a computer background. They didn't have time for college. Once they got into high school, that was only preparing them to go to college and preparing them to get a job. These people were brilliant. I'm not going to say they should quit school, but number 18, Isaac Men is a flight qualified in multiple military jet aircraft. You could look at this guy's background and his credentials, and hey, if that's what Trump wants to do, but he pulled this guy, got mad at Musk. I don't know 100% what happened. And Sean Duffy is the interim guy with a marketing law degree over at NASA. We'll be back in about 4 minutes with the Georgia Hour. You don't want to miss it. The Georgia Hour. FBI investigation in Georgia. Ooh.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Welcome this Monday morning, July 14th, 2025, to the Georgia Hour on voiceofruralamerica.com. I'm your host, BKP. Diane, how are you today? Now, last Friday, we did a 3-hour segment. You can go to Rumble and you can pick up all of our segments. Last Friday, we had a 3-hour special, the Georgia Hour. We're going to pick up where we left off. Little bit of refresher. Give me number 61. Now, this has become an international story. You can find this on websites around the world. You can find this on the Washington Post. You can find it in the New York Times. It is an enormous story. It will only grow, and we're going to tell you why. This is the father on the top. This is Brant Frost IV. And he's the lead dog in this discussion. And we all have been discussing Georgia's First Liberty building and loan hit with lawsuits after the collapse. So lawsuits are coming in. Now, it's a $140 million Ponzi scheme. And we have told you this. Again, this is an international story. This will not stop. What is interesting that we'll talk about is the silence, the deafening silence. And we know the silence says something like we're trying to figure out what direction we're going to go with this. This has lawmakers in Georgia, lawmakers around the United States, RNC, Georgia GOP. This has everybody like in a room, is the way I'm envisioning this, saying, okay, how are we going to come out? How do we come out? What direction are we going with this? And we're going to explain that. The silence is deafening. And the nerve of these people, the Frost family, as far as the political side of moving on. Now, the father released a statement, and I'm sorry statement. So let me just say to you, for those out there carrying that water, that the father, Brant Frost IV, released a statement. That's an attorney statement, okay? Brant Frost IV is probably in the attorney's office and like, where are we going from here? Well, I'm going over because they've got the 3 for $15 at Denny's and you're going to the big house. Just saying, right? You're in deep shit. What do we do? Well, we got to first come out that you're going to cooperate. We're not going to admit. We're not going to make a statement. We're going to hope we can correct it. We're going to make, it's a political, not a political, it's an attorney statement. So that's all that Brant Frost IV did, was put out an attorney statement. Okay. And these people are and he used the word I, and they're trying to take the family out of it, because what they did is, my opinion is, the attorney looked at him and said, look, our job right now is figuring out how to separate your kids, your wife, and not have them go to prison. And I'm going to explain that. You're just going to have to say, I did it. And so that's an attorney statement. Now, there's been no statement by anyone else except for the GRA. And we're going to put that out just very quickly here. The GRA statement. And we're going to say this, number 73, because the GRA has burned off all its trash that I'm aware of. And they had a meeting, their executive committee, number 74. And this is not an argument. Okay, so let's not get an argument, but I want to go to 74. This is their board. They met, the GRA, Georgia Republican Assembly. They met this past weekend, and they passed a resolution and made a statement. And I got to give it to them. Agree or disagree, like the people, dislike the people. Number 73, back to it. They made a statement. All right. Resolution regarding recent allegations and organizational integrity. Now, allegations is just that. Nobody's been convicted yet, but they cover it in their statement. At least they come out and they say, anyone that was harmed in this needs to be made whole. So here's what I don't understand as we move along. No one has come out and said, go ahead and take that down. No one has come out that I'm aware of and said, you know what? We want to make sure everyone hurt in this situation is made whole. And we will fully cooperate and do what we have to do, because it's just not right to run a Ponzi scheme on hardworking Georgians. It's not right. Or across the country. It's not right. But nothing has been said. And I have always worked with and supported the Freedom Caucus. I have fought battles with the Georgia Freedom Caucus multiple times. Nothing from them, and several of their members received an enormous amount of money. Now, so before I go any further, let's be clear on this. Before you go attacking people, I would say when this took place, what was it? June 27th, right? When the notification went on the door, June 27th, they don't operate anymore. I would say an enormous amount of people, maybe even very close to the family, were shocked. I would say they were shocked. The people that maybe invested were shocked. People that received money. So don't go and run everyone down. When I say that, don't go and run everyone down. But there's still a lot of mystery around the silence. So let's go here, because we're going to show you some things. Now, give me number 64. This is in the AJC this morning. We're going to talk about, well, before we go there, Diane, I want to hold that. Before we go there, don't forget, we discussed number 7, the Frost family. All right. Oh, Josh Raccoon, the Georgia GOP Inc., they had a meeting yesterday. Silence, crickets, no statements, nothing in the AJC this morning. I will tell you my opinion why. All right. Brant Frost the jackass in the dark jacket. I'm sorry, I just have to refer to him that way. All right. All of the daughters, the mom, Krista Frost, the homemaker mom, Krista Frost, and Brant Frost IV. Now, they've always used these children. Number 4, we didn't cover up any of the kids' faces because they've always used these children, exploited these children. It is a cult, and the buying, pretty simple, buying political, number 8, buying political favors and trying to control politicians. They have done this their whole life in the name of the Lord. They've done it with their children in the name of the Lord. We'll show you a lot of stuff this morning I don't think you have seen so far. Now, let's go back to that AJC this morning as a daily and what they have there. Number 64. Within days of the collapse, First Liberty Building and Loan investors began seeking lawsuits. There's already lawsuits, right? Democratic leaders along with some Republicans, are calling on candidates who received campaign cash, right? Candidates who received campaign cash, First Liberty founder Brant Frost IV, and other executives to return the donations. Now, I very seldom come here with a peach pundit, but I know the AJC, and I know they're watching this program and others. So Democrat leaders along with some Republicans, where are you at? Okay. Investigators accuse Frost of funneling more than $570,000 in investor funds into political contributions. Democrat Party of Georgia Chair Charlie Bailey accused recipients of benefiting from money defrauded from unsuspecting donors. Now, this has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. Now the question is whether Brian Kemp, the Georgia Republican Party, and all the elected who receive money will do the right thing and return it to the hardworking Georgians. They're using the language. They're using it. This is a political nightmare for Republicans in Georgia, but there's no leadership at the Georgia Republican Party, Inc. And I'm going to tell you why this all comes to a head in just a minute. I'm going to bring it all here, right? Wow. From whom it was stolen. It was stolen. Over at the Peach Pundit, former Republican state rep Scott Turner, which I just have to say, I really am not a fan of Scott's. There's a massive stain on anyone connected to these contributions. All right? We need answers about where the money went, who took the political donations from the Frost and his companies. Did any elected officials get money that was laundered through the fraud? Will they return it, or will they pretend they had no idea where the cash came from in hopes it blows over? Federal and state disclosures show the Frost family has given $530,000 in recent years to dozens of candidates in Georgia and beyond. Now, let me say this. We're going to get into that. But let me tell you something. I want to hold it. I'm going to hold it. Hang on. So, this is not about the Georgia GOP state officer election. It's not. This is not about David Frost not being the chairman. I don't know. I can't answer for him. I don't know if he would want to be the chairman today with this situation, right? Maybe they knew. There's a lot of questions. Maybe they knew this explosion was going to hit and they needed Josh McCoon to be chairman to handle this explosion in somewhat of a cover-up. of one of many. Maybe they did. Maybe they knew this, right? Because let me say this. The one thing you do not have to report, and this is an answer I'd like to have, the one thing you do not have to report in the state of Georgia is a state officer campaign contribution for the party. Meaning, if you run for office and someone donates $10,000 to your campaign because you're running for chairman, you do not have to report it. It's not on a campaign finance sheet anywhere. So I would like to know, this is a question I have, how much money, ill-gotten gain, did the Frost family put into Josh McCoon, the current chairman of the Georgia GOP's campaign to become chairman? Because what you're going to see as we open this up, the Frost family are in full panic. That's why they steal an election. That's why they're trying to manipulate the system. That's why they're trying to infiltrate the RNC. I mean, the Georgia GOP. They're in panic. Now, I don't know if everyone in the family knows, but I can guess Dad is giving them all direction that we must control this area because we must be able to bring in cash to pay interest payments on loans where we're running a Ponzi scheme. We're running out of replenished ammo here called money. So they've been in panic for a while, folks. You got to understand that. Now, how much does the Frost family know? There's going to be like, why is everybody silent? I don't know. Maybe they know things. Maybe they can upset. Maybe in a meeting with the FBI. Maybe in a meeting with the GBI. Maybe in a meeting with the SEC. Maybe in some of these meetings with the federal government, they can say, I can make a little better deal. You want to hear something else? Maybe. Oh, this is a disaster all the way around. We've got politicians. We've got people getting phone calls saying, this is my opinion. Hey, keep your mouth shut. Keep your damn mouth shut. You don't know anything, okay? Well, I don't. I know you don't, but just keep your damn mouth shut. I will look at you and say, that has to be happening. This is enormous. Now, let me show you something. The audacity of these people. Now, it went out. Give me number 66. I started this morning. I want to clear this up. Oh, do we have a lot to go over? Diane, can I go 10 minutes late? If I can't, because, folks, Diane might have appointments, okay? And I never can do that. It's only right. It's only right if she can do it. And I could readjust. But give me number 66. And another development. I want to give you this development because something is the Frost family. And these are big question marks. Because the very first thing I think you would do is, as chairman of the Georgia GOP Inc., Josh McCoon, call these people and say, can you do us a favor? Get away. Give us some separation here. Give us some space. How could these people, without money, right, without credit cards, without the ability for the homemaker, I will show you later, to send the Georgia GOP $500, how could they have the nerve to hold on to power? And what is that value that they hold? Because could they say, well, Josh, if we leave, it doesn't look good? Josh needs to say, I don't give a damn how it looks. Remember the good of the party? Jim Tully. Remember that phone call? Jim Tully, did you call him? Jim Tully called me. Man, for the good of the party, please. Has that been done? And why have the Frost, no one to my knowledge this morning has made an exit? Why? I don't know. It could be like an Epstein file. Could be. Could be they know something. Could be. Could be they may tell. Could be they're not going to go down alone. I do not know. But this is a mystery, because I will tell you this. I have confirmation that there was an executive committee meeting last night of the Georgia GOP Inc. And I have confirmation that Katie Frost attended the meeting. She was at the meeting. It was a Zoom by voice. She was there. She answered in the roll call. I have confirmation. All right. I also know that as of this morning, no one has been removed from the Georgia Republican Party. And last night in the executive committee meeting was not addressed. That's what we're being told. Wow. Wow. Hardworking Georgians. Now, in another development, we're told Brant Frost V, the son of the firm's founder, resigned over the weekend as the chair of Coweta County GOP. He did not. Frost hasn't returned phone calls, but the website now lists Alan Brady as the acting chair. Now, that's not what happened. This is a false report. Now, some people took this video, and we're not attacking. We're just saying they took it and they might have misunderstood it, and now we've got people thinking that he resigned. He did not. Because last night in the executive committee meeting of the Georgia GOP Inc., there's 3 state committee members. There's Krista Frost, all right? That's the homemaker, Krista Frost, mom. There's Katie Frost, 3rd District Chair, right? 3rd District Chair. And there's Brant Frost, and they're all state committee members. My understanding last night at the executive committee meeting, none of the Frost, the 3, had offered up their resignation to the state committee of the Georgia GOP. It's my understanding. Katie was in attendance. She did not, she's on the executive committee, Katie Frost. She did not offer her resignation. She was just at the meeting. And while we're on that, there's I have it here somewhere. There's I have it here somewhere. Hold on. In the 3rd District of Georgia, there's 15 counties. Some of them are partial. 5 counties got together. And they put, this did not happen. We're getting ready to show you what happened. And this is number 69. 5 counties got together out of 15. This was sent to the entire Georgia Republican executive team on behalf of 5 counties in Georgia, the 3rd District. All right? If you agree with the resolution, then please put your name in the comments along with any other office you may hold of the Georgia GOP party. If you are just a member, then just say your name, member. Light this up. So this resolution, number 70, 5 counties, Carroll County, Upson County, Meriwether, Peach, and Lamar, 5 of the counties, regarding the removal and permanent ban of Katie Frost, Brant Frost V, and Krista Frost. Now, you got to understand, the 3 Frosties, all right, they are in the 3rd District. So that's why they're naming all 3 from leadership positions within the Georgia Republican Party. Now, we're being told that this resolution was not even considered last night at the meeting, and there's been no comment concerning this resolution, and every member of the executive committee received it. As we continue. Now, go back to the misinformation of 66. So, something's wrong. And we're going to show you how this is large. Before you leave today, you're going to hear how large FBI, you're going to hear some things. And we're going to stay on this because we're not letting it go. I'm not going to draw a blind eye to corruption. I'm just not going to, okay? I am a lifelong Republican. I support Donald J. Trump as my president of the United States of America. I'm a Reagan Republican, lifelong Republican, and I'm going to answer what a question that came to me yesterday. What do I want out of this? I'm going to answer that today. I'm not taking, there's no joy in this for me, none whatsoever. But I don't care who it is. Fani Willis, right? Stacey Abrams. I do not care. Corruption's corruption. It does not have a party, an R or a D. It's corruption. And we've got a scandal here of enormous proportions going into 2026 that I don't know how this is going to get handled. Now, he did not. So this is Coweta. So immediately, in another development, Brant Frost V, the son of the firm's founder, resigned over the weekend as the chair. Didn't happen. Give me video 18. Listen very close as the Alan Brady makes this announcement Saturday morning at Coweta County Republican Party meeting. Run video 18.
Brant Frost V wanted me to let you know that he has stepped back from serving as the county chair, and in his absence, I'll be acting as chairman with all the duties and powers of the office. There will be a more formal statement released later. And that's really all I can say at this point. It is an ongoing situation.
Okay, so you didn't hear resign. You heard ongoing situation. Now, this is the graphic. Give me number 119. You did not hear Alan. You did not hear Alan. You have to understand this entire slate is the Frost family slate. You did not hear Alan Brady say that he resigned from being a state committee member, right? You did not hear Alan Brady say at the same exact time, the second vice chair, Krista Frost, his mother is stepping back. Why isn't the mother stepping back? So this morning, Brant Frost V's mommy, homemaker, as she's listed, second vice chair of the party, she's still there. She's not stepping back. And don't forget what Alan said, right? Alan Brady said is he's stepping back and in his absence. So you see, he's still the first vice chair and the acting chair. If he resigned Saturday, he would have resigned also his state committee position. He didn't. He did not. He stepped back as chair, not state committee member. And if he would have resigned, Alan Brady would have announced to Coweta Republican Party that they would be calling for an election for a new chair. But it didn't happen. So these people have the audacity right here in Coweta County to say, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. We're in your face. Dare us. What? I'm serious. Now, you can't make this up. So they're not going anywhere. Josh is silent. Let's not forget this right here. You have number one. We'll give you a little bit as we go. Number one, right? Sally Grubbs is the first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party. Very close friends to the Frost family. And we have offered. We're not attacking Sally Grubbs. We have offered her as a member of the executive committee of the Georgia Republican Party to come on this program or just send me a note and say she's not an investor. We understand the first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party was an investor to First Liberty Building and Loan. She can deny it, and I will report it. I'll take her word. Now, Josh McCoon is the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party. What did he know? When did he know it? Because you have to remember something. I said it Friday in the 3 hours. Every single thing. Before you were ever handed a clicker at the convention, before Mike Crane, well, we won't go there and double back because I have a lot of new information today I want to share with you. Okay, new information coming daily, and we will not come off this, all right? Because I have called, remember, I was removed. Remember? And they are hiding the books. They're going to say they're not, but they're hiding the books. Over years and years, they're hiding the books. And Sally Grubbs is the first vice chair. This guy right here, the chair, Josh McCoon of the Georgia Republican Party, the entire convention, forget the election. Forget pushing the clickers, okay? Forget that for a minute. It is important. It's valid. But forget pushing the clickers. Forget the sergeant of arms handing it out. Forget Debbie Dunaster for just a second, standing there, wiping her eyes, the nasty person she is. From the time the call, and I don't know where you're at in America, but in Georgia, when we have a convention, whether it's county, okay, whether it's district or state, we have to put out a call. It's called the convention call. From the very time the convention call was put out, Michael Watley, you need to listen. This needs to go to Michael Watley, all right? From the very time the convention call was put out for the state, this entire convention was rigged, set up, and they were doing everything they could to hold control. And it included the Frost family. Now, so going there, this guy, let me remind you of this. Number 3, Brant Frost endorsing Josh McCoon. And then this is where we're going to get into it a little later. Don't forget this. That's Brant Frost, right? Coweta County endorsing Josh McCoon. You can't make this up. Number 4, don't forget Greg Dolezal. Now, I've always had a very good relationship with the Georgia Freedom Caucus. I have fought many battles on legislation where members of the Freedom Caucus, and I don't know that the Georgia State Freedom Caucus is aware of what exactly is going on. But I've offered this guy, Greg Dolezal, state senator. He could text me. He could come on the show. But we're hearing a $2 million investment from him into First Liberty Building and Loan. Was he part of the hook? Now, I want to get away from that because I want to show you something. Why this is friggin'. Give me number. We're going to go with 48. We're going to start here. Now, I want you to see that on 610, right? You might not be able to see it on that screen, but trust me, it's there. And we'll get you the graphics if you want. Krista Frost, this is the mother, sent Candace Taylor $3,500 on 610. Now, if you'll notice, right underneath there, Krista Frost of 5/29/2025 sent the Georgia Republican Party $175. Here she's listed as a homemaker. So I will tell you, once the FBI, once all the feds and the investigators go through this money, where did homemaker, as you can see, Krista Frost, homemaker, $100 to the Georgia Republican Party. This is in May. We had a convention coming up. The Georgia Republican Party, $450. She is a homemaker. And then First Liberty threw in $355. And then Krista Frost on April 4/30, threw in $1,000. Folks, you will see if you go through here, they've used what I could tell all the children. Now, this money is not theirs. It's not theirs. And Candace Taylor, what did you get paid $3,500 for? On 610, was there a quid pro quo? Could an investigator go, does Candace just have to return this? Or should an investigator go down and sit down with Candace Taylor and say, you know, you served on committees with Krista Frost just days before you received this check. Was this just because she supports you? Or was there something else? Is there anything else we should know? Where's the Frost coming up with the power to still manipulate the direction? Now, I'll get the argument that they're not, but until it changes. So what you'll see here, first of all, there's 500 and some of these reported. You see Krista Frost all the way down through there, homemaker, homemaker, homemaker. Then you see to Congress, okay, 250 First Liberty. Then you see Georgia Republican Party, homemaker, Krista Frost is sending the money. Then you see, you got to look this up. Working for America Inc., PAC. Go look it up. Working for America Inc. In February of this year, First Liberty Building and Loan sent $25,000. Wow. Then you have the Alabama Republican Party. Now, as you can see, if you start going through these, right, you're going to see they solicited nationwide. And they have sent money to candidates nationwide. Not only did they send money across state lines, this is FBI kind of stuff, right? They solicited and had investors from other states. This was not a state-sanctioned, licensed operation where everybody's from Georgia. They had investors in their fund from other states, and they gave out money to other states, all circling for the most part. For the most part, you can find it yourself, the Georgia Republican Party or Republicans around the country. So you get Katie Frost. She's self-employed. She sent the Alabama Republican Party $3,597. Okay. Brant Frost IV. Krista, Ted Budd for Senate. She's a homemaker. She sent $3,300, right? Chip Roy, Krista Frost, the homemaker, sent another $3,300. Now, let's continue here. Give me number 49. WinRed from Krista Frost. Now she's self-employed. Right above it, the Republican National Committee, she sent $130. She's a homemaker. Right underneath there, she's now self-employed. All right. And she's sending WinRed. Oh, this is going to be very... Now, candidates that receive money may not know anything. Now, let's go to number 50. Krista, Republican Party, $100. Republican Party, $100. WinRed. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and this is where I got to call in someone else. I feel like Pawn Stars, where I got to call in a specialist to review this. This is where it gets interesting in these reports. Brant Frost, WinRed, $1.04. $1.04. Now, sometimes to establish an account, I've had a situation before where to establish an account, you just have to send $1 and that gets your account established. That could be the case. Could be, but we need it looked at. $1.04. Now we have Krista, Georgia Republican, another $100. Let's see, WinRed, $100. Georgia Republican Party, $100. Let's see. I want to go down through here. I'm looking for another name. See, Brant, Krista, Georgia Republican Party, another $100. And let's go to the next page. There's 500 and some of these. Now we're in 2024. Again, the Ponzi year, right? 51. They're sending it across state lines as fast as they can. Win Red, again, $1.04. Brant Frost again for $1.04. Republican Party got another 100. Win Red, another 100. Georgia Republican Party, $200 from Katie. Katie sent $200. Win Red, another $1.04 from Brant Frost. Again, that's the name for the third time. Georgia Republican Party, $100. And let's see, Win Red for $100. Georgia Republican Party, $100. The Maine Republican Party received $10,000. Now, we're going to stop here in a minute. We just have a couple more we want to show you. All right, let's go to number 52. Win Red, another $104 from Brant Frost. Continues for Brant Frost. Never Surrender Inc. got $900. Georgia Republican Party, $100. Win Red, $100. Georgia Republican Party, $100. And Win Red, Brant Frost, another $1.04. Again with the $1.04. Georgia Republican Party Inc. from a homemaker, $100. Win Red. Now there's one from Brant Frost for $21.07. Win Red for $26.03, and then another $1.04. Now, these are interesting, is all I'm saying. And then you have a Brant Frost down there on 6/7/2024. Is that correct? Yeah, for 25 cents. Georgia Republican Party from Katie Frost got $2,500. And that continues. Let's see how many of these I have. You can go through this. There's 500 and some. Number 53, the House Freedom Fund got $24.75. Georgia Republican Party, another one there, 601, $2,500. Never Surrender Inc., $900. There's the Win Red, Georgia Republican Party, $200. Win Red, Georgia Republican Party. Krista Frost was writing checks to the Georgia Republican Party, $100 here, $200 there. Number 54, Win Red, Win Red, Win Red. Hold the Line pack for $3,000. Georgia Republican Party, another 100. Hold the Line, 1,500, 500, 1,500. Georgia Republican Party Inc. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Mike Crane. Now, we all know Mike Crane, former senator, former state senator of Georgia, former colleague, very close colleague to Josh McCoon, chairman of the Georgia Republican Party. Mike Crane, the Frost family installed him in my place when they removed me for the Georgia Republican Party, Inc. They installed Mike Crane. And he's also a very close personal friend to the entire Frost family. And the icing on the cake is Josh picked him to be first vice chair, and Josh picked him to chair the Georgia Republican Party convention. You do realize if I was still the first vice chair, I would have chaired that convention. Interesting, right? So now we have Crane. Now this is Catherine, Mary Catherine. Now, Mary Catherine spent $3,000. Mary Catherine spent $3,000. Mary Catherine. Who is Mary Catherine? Oh, yeah. Edwin Brandt V. Edwin Brandt V. Mike Crane. Caroline. Now, wait a minute. Let's see here. I want to look at something just briefly. We're running out of time. You can't make this up. These people are so... Oh, this is FBI. This is across state lines. This should... people should go to prison. So... Catherine Frost is a sister of the groom. Caroline Frost is a sister of the groom. Just seeing, make sure. These are sisters. These are the kids. You can't make this up. So Catherine Frost. And then we have Caroline. They've used Caroline. These are Mike Crane, Mike Crane, Mike Crane. And then we have Mary Catherine Frost. Is that the same person? I'm not for sure. Caroline. Krista Frost. Okay. Hold on just a minute. Hold on. Just checking. I'm just going back to check something. See, now Krista Frost is sending $3,300. Look at this, man. And then First Liberty sent the Republican Party $500. Crane. I don't know if I have any more. Yeah, I got one more. Let's go with another one, number 56. We're going to go down through there. We've got Bernie Moreno, the Republican Party. There's another $500. And number 57. Let's see. Win Red. There's $1.04 from Brant Frost from Win Red. And let's go to 58. Crane, 1,000, 3,300. Brant Frost. Georgia Republican Party, 100. Now we're going into 2023. The Blue and Gold Fund for 4,700. Go look that up. Let's see, from a homemaker, $2,500. Mike Johnson in 2023, Speaker of the House. Mike Johnson received $3,000. In 2023, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson received $3,000. Georgia Republican Party, another 100. And let's see, let's go with number 59. The Johnson Leadership Fund, Mike Johnson's Leadership Fund, in 2023 received another $3,000, right? There's Georgia Republican Party, Win Red, and we're going to stop right there. So internationally, the story is across the world, all right? Let's go back to number 2 for a minute. So the story is completely around the world. And what we have here is we have across state lines soliciting for funds. All right. We have across state lines soliciting for funds. We have across state lines sending someone's money, not theirs. This thing is a mess. But why? I've asked this over and over. Triple entry for Best Guest Media, $5,000. Is this for Katie Frost? Is this for Katie Frost? Now, one other thing I want to throw in, because we don't want to forget this. Number 5, don't forget their director. All right? Let's put this together if it's the first time you've ever watched. Their director of compliance has been investigated before. Number 6, Jimmy Sickert, the director of compliance for First Liberty, a non-banking firm, Noonan, currently under FBI investigation. Now, people got upset. They're not under FBI investigation. Yes, they are. These people have solicited. They've taken people's money, $140 million. Not $140 million. They've stole people's money. They have wiped out people's life savings. You have senior citizens today that have no retirement fund. Well, it's their own damn fault. They should have checked into this a little closer. What? Was it the prayer cloth that they were sending out? Or maybe they didn't send out a prayer cloth. I want to be careful of that. But maybe they were praying with them. Maybe they were saying, well, we're Sunday school teachers. Maybe Jimmy Sickert was their pastor in residence down the hall. Let's see, Brant, we're deacons, Sunday school teachers, we're Christians. I guess what we need, let's just pull a pastor in. Let's get a pastor. I'm serious. So Sickert's is director of compliance, First Liberty Building and Loan, a non-bank lending, blah, 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 FBI investigation. Previously held a crucial role in another collapsed investment company with similarities to First Liberty. Sickert formerly served as the national sales director of Atlanta-based Cornerstone Ministries Investment. Right? Now, give me right here. This is just the front page. You can go look it up, right? This is the United States Bankruptcy Court, number 19. This is in 2008. This is $154 million. All right. $154 million bankruptcy. Sickert was their chief sales guy at wherever, what was it? Cornerstone Ministries Investment, CMI. Here is the bankruptcy note right there, number 19. And this is a much due. So they bring this guy over. He's a pastor. Now, there you go. Cornerstone Ministries Investment, the debtor, bankruptcy court. Now take that down. So this past weekend, this lady, I'm not going to mention her name. She maybe she doesn't want to be mentioned, but you can go find her work. I had it here. That's not it. Now, this lady wrote this article. I know I have it, Diane, so bear with me. We're almost done. Number 32. So this reporter from this, right? First Liberty's Ponzi scheme, the perspective from a victim there, Sonia, I can't pronounce her last name. Now, what she did is she met with someone that was scammed, lost everything, and she changed their name, but they told the entire story. All right? Give me number 33. George is a alias. George invested $1,019,000 with First Liberty after being drawn in by the promise rate of 13%. Most of his communication throughout the process was with Jamie Sickert, the company's director of compliance. Sickert's past involved in potentially fraudulent schemes and civil settlements. George came forward to share his experience. He told the story. Number 34, Sickert backed up his claims by showing George visuals of clients' reported earnings at high returns. So when George was getting ready to put $1 million in, he's asking Sickert, hey, are you sure? Look at these returns. So he's showing these reports on high returns. He also connected with George on a spiritual level. Both men are members of the Presbyterian Church of America, and Sickert, who worked as a pastor, claimed to know George's pastor as well. I know you're a pastor, yeah. You go to so-and-so church, yeah. And you go, pastor so, yeah, I go way back with pastor so-and-so. Well, yeah, pastor so-and-so and I you can't make this sickness up and this corruption. Initially, George received interest payments, which he believed were meant to build trust before encouraging him to invest the remainder of his funds. They start sending out, right? They start sending out the payments on time. Now, I want to get this clear. The GRA PAC, if you're looking up money that went out, Brant Frost V handled the PAC. Don't get the GRA PAC confused with the GRA. So, folks, this scam, the Frost family in total panic. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened. Have you ever heard of this company? I have it here somewhere. I know I have it. U.S. Asset Management. Take that down. Take every bit down. Take it all down. Get it down. Get it away from me. Have you ever heard of this company, U.S. Asset Management? Well, let me tell you this little story, because I start putting these clues together and I just keep thinking over and over, and I keep running this through my mind. So this guy, his name is David Cross, if you never heard of him before. So this guy, David Cross, he's not real. I'm going to paraphrase, so this is not something that's been written out. But this guy, David Frost, he kind of thinks 2020, something went bad wrong in that election. Now, he's a Republican. He votes Republican. He's not hanging out at his local Republican Party meetings. He's not the county chairman. He's not the county treasurer. But he votes Republican. He's conservative. And he has this company, and it's called American Asset Management, right? U.S. Asset Management. U.S. Asset Management he has this company. And early on in his career, he was working with a company, and he did not follow the procedures that the company said that you have to follow. And they said, David, you didn't follow the procedures. You didn't steal money. You didn't cheat us. But, it is what it is, and you got to go. So they let him go. They did. They fired him. He says, well, you know what? If you fired me, I'll just open my own place, and I'll put an asset management company together that has credibility, character, honesty, all the above, and I will grow my business. Many of us have been fired. You're a host. I've been fired. You're out of here, right? So he starts this company, and it's doing pretty well. He's got some clients, and it's going pretty well because he got fired for the last job. Now, he's not cheating anybody. He's not stealing anybody. He's not under investigations. He's not running a Ponzi scheme. He is working with a client one at a time to invest their money in not building loans, right? And bridge loans. No, he's not. He's investing it in a portfolio that the client could see at all times. Now, I say that because this is very important. So this guy, David, 2020 comes along and the election just goes poof. And he's like, nah, there's something wrong there. So he says he gets together with some data analysts and they start analyzing things. And they come up and they say, this is wrong. We're going to show you double entries, blah, blah, blah. And he does that, and he gets involved in election integrity. And he says, I can prove the 2020 election was stolen in Georgia. And these are my words. So he goes through with it. And then we just can't get people to listen. So someone that he knows called him up and said, if you run for second vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party, and if you win, you will have access to lawmakers. You can actually call their office and say, hey, I'm the second vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party. I'd like to talk to you about election integrity. I'd like to talk to you about paper ballots. I'd like to talk to you about Dominion voting machines. And you can get access where you can't just being the guy out there in election integrity. So David says, you know what? I'm going to run. I'm going to do it. And then it dawns on him, these are my words, it dawns on him, who are you running against? Brant Frost V. Don't forget this. This all goes together. Now, you got to understand, when David ran in 2023 for second vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party, First Liberty, they're in panic already. First Liberty Building and Loan, they are in panic mode. And they've got their little child Brant in there as second vice chair on the executive committee, so he could be in touch with the chair, being David Schaefer at that time, which we understand David Schaefer. We've heard we're offering David Schaefer the same thing to deny it and come on the show. But we're hearing that as second vice chair, Brant Frost is over here. David Schaefer, the chairman at that time, may have been invested in their fund. So Dad's like, get over it. Is again paraphrasing. Dad's like, get over there, keep an eye. And I'm stressed out. We got to turn over some more money. This is in 2023. So here you go. You've got a guy that has an investment, right? Asset management, a true company that's handling people's portfolios that could replace Brant. Now, David Cross's company does nothing to resemble what the Frosts do. They don't even offer that. But there's a pot of money out there. And if David Cross wins and beats Brant Frost V, and he's the second vice chair, and Brant Frost V is out, well, that could put David Cross closer to the pot of money. Not that David Cross ever solicited that money, but the Frosts are in panic. So they run. And David Cross kicks Brant Frost's ass in 2023 for second vice chair. So now the Frost family, they go home and they're in panic mode. Oh my God. What do we do? All right, we got to figure this out. Well, we got two crap shots here. We got Pritchard, he's first vice chair. We got Cross, a second vice chair. We got a problem. David Cross has his eyes on the friggin' pot of gold. Now, at no time did David Cross solicit that pot of gold, but Josh McCoon claimed he did. And that's just not true. All right? But over here, the Frost family, they're in panic mode because 23 and 24, oh my God, Dad knows. We got to keep feeding this monster. If we do not feed this monster properly, you can see the way they want to control the Georgia Republican Party. We're going to get caught. Paraphrasing. This is my theory. Paraphrasing. So, okay. We're gonna have Josh skate in. He's gonna skate in. We're gonna put our slate together. We're gonna put Sally Grubbs in that has, we hear, invested in our company as first vice chair. We're gonna put our people in place. We're gonna control the narrative. We're gonna control the party. We're going to get more money out of somewhere. We're going to squeeze this. We're in panic mode. We have to continue to feed this monster or it's going to collapse and we're going to get caught. The whole thing is we're going to get caught. So Josh is going to run for re-election. We're good. David Cross says, I'm running for chairman, and they have an oh shit moment. Oh shit. Do you realize if he is chairman, what happens? Do you realize? Now, folks, I'm going to finalize that, and I'm going to bring that into the convention, and I'm going to bring it into how they manipulated every single thing to make sure that David Cross and his company as U.S. Asset Management didn't get close to the pot of gold. Not that they do the same thing, want to be clear. But they didn't want him close to the pot of gold. What if people wanted to legitimately have him not invest, have him handle their portfolio as a professional? Or send us 25 grand in a patriot economy because we're in panic mode. Everything was about panic mode. Everything was we're going down the tubes. Everything. Now, A lot of times when people fall, they don't want to fall by themselves. I'm going to tell you this little boring thing. So we're kids. I'm 10 years old. My brother's 8. And we do the summertime climb on the roof. You know that? You remember that? Don't act like you didn't do it and you weren't allowed. So I'm 10 years old. My brother's 8 years old. So we get close to the edge. We're looking over, right? And my brother loses his balance. He's 8 years old. And I could see he's leaving the roof, going for the ground to fall. And the next thing I know, he grabs my shirt and he pulls me off the roof with him, and we both hit the ground, tuck and roll. And I look at him and I said, why did you do that? Maybe I beat him up too. Why'd you do that? He said, I didn't want to go alone. At my age, I'll never forget it. He said, I didn't want to fall alone. What do the Frosts know? What are they about to tell? What is really happening? How come no one has apologized to the hardworking people of Georgia across this country? No one has said, let me put the money aside to give back. And that you wish George and others out there that lost their total retirement well? Nothing. The Georgia GOP, Inc., in my opinion, could be closed. Why would you invest? Not in First Liberty. Why would you give any money to the Georgia GOP, Inc.? Why would they raise money? Why would you give it to them? Because they're good stewards? I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Take us out of here, Diane.